Oh, and Melito is going to be the first one on the screen, and for me, he was a real standout on the Manticores this game. I think the last set we saw, the semifinals, that Ul play was fantastic.
Both games, and Uller is not a character we've seen a whole lot of recently. No transcendence for Uller, like what is that? But Melito making it work without a doubt. He played lights out in the semis.
I love how quick those first two, all the bans came out. Basically, no Robin and no Kronos. Basically, Robin's too tough, and, well, Emil literally has a skin. No Odin for Kiki, and the Manticores don't want to see Sun Wukong on anybody, but I guess I can shout out Dimmy.
So what's the option here? I mean, we're looking down the list. There's a lot of things still available right now. But first pick options?
Osiris, yeah. Osiris was going to come out
Still
on
not
mouth.
nerfed.
Still not nerfed, exactly. So he's going to be really, really strong with that Judgment Tether, continuing to provide that overtime damage mitigation the longer that you're tethered.
Don't forget, Twig was actually playing Osiris in the jungle earlier today, and previously in the split, so it's certainly something to watch out for.
And you mentioned that, the Osiris in the jungle. Well, they did draft the Terror as well to go alongside that. This time around, though, Juggernaut's going to take the Terror for themselves, recognizing that could be a potential thing for the Manticores.
Terra was picked every single game by Juggernauts until it was banned away during the second ban phase. No surprise that Jeff immediately wants to go back to his comfort pick.
Thoth Guy, going to be the mid-mage selected here for the Manticores alongside Zots. And again, this is sort of what we've seen. We know where Thoth is going to go. That's the best, and he might be the best. The Osiris and the Camazots, like I said, we always talk about how the Manticores are the flex squad. Well, Osiris was played in the jungle, and Zots was played in the solo for this team before. So, I mean, your guess is as good as mine, but frankly, I think we're going to see Kiki on the bat.
Definitely interchangeable, and I kind of agree with you, Tom. I think it is going to be the Camazots in the solo lane, but depends on the matchup.
That might have been the initial idea, but Nemesis now drafted for the Juggernauts means that maybe they want to keep that warrior away from the warrior shredder that is Nemesis. Try and keep that alone on the solo island and make sure that you're not going to be worried about that Nem ult all the time.
That's the beauty of the team that the Manticores have. They can select the Osiris and the Camazots and go, hey, we're going to play oddball and keep them on the back foot, keep them a little unshaky. Well, we're going to see the standard Nemesis, and then, all right, we'll keep Osiris away from the Nem, and we'll go a little bit more standard. They have the option, which is nice.
It's just like a classic LAN this, though, because you see the LAN meta develop as time goes on. Ares banned out by the Juggernauts, a little bit worried with having a Terror and a Nemesis on their team, that Ares against them, played by Aurora, could cause them a lot of problems. Same can be said for that Scotty that Barracuda's been going to a lot.
That's true. Barra played Scotty all 3 games in that semifinal matchup, and let's be real here. Barracuda would have wanted to ban Ares against Aurora if he hadn't played Ares in a year consecutively. He just hates going up against that character in competitive play, especially when it's someone as well-versed as Aurora.
And before you may. Just because, like, that's the two things that Barracuda hates so much, he had it banned in multiple tournaments before. Ares and Yume.
Manticore is trying to figure out their last ban here, and it will be the Ul. An interesting choice here. We saw Emil play it earlier. We saw some, but Barracuda didn't really bring him out. So with the Uller band, we see Houyi.
I don't know if Ul is really the right ban there from the Manticores. They're a little bit too worried about Barracuda playing Ul. Ul isn't a hyper carry. He's just a consistent damage dealer in the early game. His damage numbers seem quite high. He does spike quite nicely.
Oh, here we go.
But very ability-based.
Here we go. I think that's why the Uller was banned.
Oh, no, it's flashbacks.
Is it, this is a hell support.
Yeah, this is hell support.
This is a hell support. And again, I love to see the weird stuff come out from the Manticores. Hell support. Now, just in case Osiris winds up support, but I really and truly believe this will be a hell support Kyrod lane. Arlong Shen going to wrap things up for the Juggernauts.
I mean, Aurora got his warm-up on Hell yesterday, am I right? He was ready to go in terms of timing those cleanses, the slows, pumping out the damage.
And the word you said there is the key word for this Hell that could work is the cleanse. The cleanse could really make a big impact against the Juggernauts. They've actually got double cleanse with the Chiron pickup too here. Slows from Nemesis get cleansed out, walls from Terra cleansed out as well.
I think you just nailed I think you got it on the head, which is why we see this dual lane. The double cleanse is going to come into it's going to be a very big deal here for the Manticores as we get into game. The Juggernauts, no slouches themselves, though. A lot of basic attack stuff, not just the Soul, Nemesis, Houyi, and Arlong Shen, a little bit front-loaded.
Mobility is what I see on that side for sure. With the Terror added to this as well, Nemesis, Houyi, Arlong Shen, very mobile gods, as is Soul. Add Terror to the mix, even better.
That's true, but how much mobility do you need to get away from Camazot's ult? It's basically like Giannis ult, and that's about the end of it. I mean, you cannot get away from an ult in Camazot's.
Manticores, Juggernauts, game number 1. And as Taka would say, Hell yeah, with the hell support. So excited to see the oddball stuff coming out. Emilito is going to be the Chiron over there. And then on the right side of your screen, Variety and Kivo Fred. I say right side because the way they control the right side of that map is terrifying.
Keep an eye on the jungle for Manticores too. Captain Twig on the Osiris, as we kind of expected here. Did start with the Frenzy though. Now the Frenzy at the beginning means you're going to get a little bit more wave push, but it does mean you've got better kill potential too.
Not only, exactly, you have your kind of option, and that's what Osiris does so well in the early game. He's got an option to out-clear you with those cleave auto attacks, using the Death Toll in order to heal himself up pretty effectively as well. And he's got the option to just perma-slow you and get you killed.
So we brought up the fact that Captain Twig might be playing the Camazotz because of the jungle nemesis. No, says the Manticores, stick to your style, and it will be Twiggy on the Osiris, leaving Kiki in the solo lane on the Bat versus Variety with no teleport.
Now, Aurora's also started off with Sprint here, which is going to be very useful against this team. We mentioned their mobility and the amount of slows they're going to have that can be cleansed. Well, another thing that cleanses those slows is that Sprint.
Frenzy comes out looking more for the wave clear than the fight. I know I always say Frenzy means fight, but when you're going up against the Soul and the Nemesis with Bluestone, that is a lot of early game pressure. So the Frenzy comes out just to sort of try and match that, but even with the Relic, not enough to make it happen.
In that case, Frenzy still means fight because minions do more damage in the early game than anything else, so I like that idea there from the Manticores. Kiki, again, starting his own blue buff, foregoing early pressure on the wave to make sure that he can hit level 2 as quickly as possible.
Like the way from Variety there, he doesn't really get much of a reward, but just trying to slow down the speed, being taken in the jungle, keeps Manticores in the back foot for now. Meanwhile, the dual lane for the Juggernauts here, with that Terran slowly getting towards 3, the power spike starts to come through in terms of wave clear.
The hardest part about laning at something like Hell Support is that right
heal.
there, is how do you deal with healing up those minions? Emil almost gets triple bounce there between the walls from Jeff and Barra, but until you can physically insta-clear the wave, which Hu Yi doesn't get until very late in the mid-game, you're going to have a tough time insta-clearing this wave.
But Aurora's now out of mana here, so definitely pressure has been relieved on this lane now. Plenty of sustain still from, obviously, Chiron and a Hell too. But here's the engagement, the pressure's on. Barracuda with the in-hands are good, but he can't find the last basic.
Sprint is good. Getting Emilito just barely out of trouble. And look at the power of this situation. Now, Aurora, he doesn't have much sustain as way of the mana as far as his mana is concerned, but he's going to be able to keep Emilito alive. And as long as you're above 0, you're still doing it.
And that's the main thing they're going to be looking to do. Mid lane, though, Captain Twig starting to flank round the back up against Yamin. But Yamin's positioning has been very solid so far this tournament, as per usual. And on top of that, he's just so tricky to pin down.
Soul is definitely one of the safest guys in the mid lane. Not only do you get the increased movement speed from Disapparate, but the slow immunity as well. That is huge up against this roster for the Manticores.
Kiki taking the fight to Variety one-on-one. Nice little bounce. To the Echo, and Kiki can do this fight comfortably because he knows how much natural HP 5 or lifesteal he's going to get out of the Bat, and then Variety, well, he's got the Death Toll. So both of them are down to fight past 50%.
Talk about Death's Toll. Well, Kiki started with Death's Toll here, and sometimes you do see a Bluestone start from Camazotz. This, to me, tells me that Kiki is a little bit worried about maybe getting more aggro than he intended to with the Bluestone ticks, so would rather play this a little bit more passive at the start and then just sustain back up, and obviously get sustained from that Death's Toll.
Plus, I think people forget about Camazotz solo. Everyone was so worried about all these cleave auto attack damage dealers. The Osiris, the Bellona, the Erlong Shen. Camazotz has a cleave as well, and so he can really get a lot of healing off of that Death Toll proc, even with the recent nerfs to it.
I love how quickly Emil turns tail. Oh, look, they're out of my lane. I can farm safe. Just kidding. No, I'm not here anymore. Just turns around and hits the dash because he knows that Aurora has to go back. Early back for Aurora. Just for the heal, but right side. Kiki gets the kill on Variety.
Oh, but hold up, it was Variety that got the kill on Kiki. First of all, the tower comes into play, making it a 1-for-1. So in the end, Juggernauts come out on top because they got that first blood.
In one way, yes, but remember, Kiki has teleport and Variety does not. So Kiki's going to miss it, and he's going to grab this entire wave while Variety is going to only get the back end of this. Now, keep in mind that Variety will have boots 3 when he comes back to lane, where Kiki, because he didn't get that first blood bounty, only has boots 2.
And that's the thing with the teleport now, because I feel like Transformations is going to get you there in enough time with some Wukong or Erlang Shen to not lose as much as you may think he was going to. So in the end, it still works out in Juggernaut's favor here, for the time being at least.
It's about what Variety could do with this extra power spike that Kiki does not have. How much can he pressure with these completed Warrior Tabi as opposed to the rank 2 combat boots for Kiki?
Kiki loses the battle for the last hit there underneath his own blue buff. Captain Twig just trying to provide a little bit of pressure. Not really looking for a kill here, folks. Just trying to push Variety out of the lane just a little bit. Give Kiki some breathing room because he is playing that bat and he needs some help on that character.
It's also for Twig to create enough room for him to get his own speed buff too, and not worried about the the Erlang Shen ping coming over the wall that could cause some problems as well. Right inside, the blue buff did go down, not picked up by Kiki there, unfortunately. So bit more denial of mana in the lane, and Kiki's dying again on that left-hand side. Both of them are, and it's been forced to ult.
Both ults down, but that absolutely favors the Juggernauts because Variety's using that ultimate, yes, to CC Kiki and try and get the kill, but also to get that sustain back from that ultimate heal. Now, you can see Kiki using those Devour pools from the kills earlier on in that lane. He has 2 of those, one from his own body and one from that of Variety, in order to sustain back up in this lane okay.
My biggest issue with the Manticores comp here, though, and this is one of the reasons why you normally see Guardians over sustained mages coming into the duo lane, their front line is kind of weak here. You're going to be relying on resustaining and juking out a lot of abilities over being able to take a lot of damage with your front line and have your back line deal damage.
Plus, there's a lot of characters here that can apply anti-heal very easily. A lot of Divine Ruin for Soul and Brawler's Beat Stick for Kiki.
Variety in some trouble. Roar gets hit by the Nemesis ultimate, so he's going to be safe on the right-hand side. Best sliding up a shot through the wall. Taking it safe, not going for it. Frenzy, and that's the green light. Here comes the shot, warming up by the Best. Ultimate from the Soul as well. That's going to split the teams and hopefully make everybody safe.
He's in trouble, but he will get away. Cubo doesn't want to continue chasing, knowing Kiki and Twig and the Best were just around the corner.
Beautiful ultimate by Yaman in order to get it out, but Variety really low here.
See ya, Variety going to go into the turtle and get a little bit of a safety shell. Cubo, Fred. Is he going to dash forward? The answer is no. Just going to clap on Kiki. Half HP on the bat. Nice jump away from Jeff's walls. And that's going to be safety for everyone involved.
For the time being, at least. But I love what both teams did there. Look at how Kiki, I'm not sure if he had his leap up the whole time, but it looked like he was holding it for the right moment. As soon as the walls are on him, and as soon as he knows he's going to get hit, leaps away to safety.
So here's a problem that I noticed. I think as the game goes on, frontline will be less of an issue. I think Kel will get tanky. Yaman needs some tankiness over here. Slowed down by Emilito. 1 shot, 2 shot. Not enough. Does he have the cooldown?
I don't think he does.
No, he just used it. He just used it. Yaman's going to be A-okay.
But my point is, tankiness is one thing. Lack of initiation, another thing.
Sure, and the big initiation for them really will be a stun from Toth, or basically trying to get Twig in range to stun them down. Twig, though, might be able to catch Barra here. Where's Jeff when you need him?
1 slow, 2 slow. There's a stun. Nice ages to avoid the damage. The sun's come down. Does he have the jump to go over the wall? No, but Barracuda still has enough oomph to chase Captain Twig out. There's the dash, there's the root. Twiggy in trouble. Twiggy in the ground. Barracuda with the kill.
A call for Jeff, and what happens? Jeff turns up and makes it a turnaround play where Twig falls down instead. Barra bought a lot of time in that team fight, though.
I can't believe he lived for that long. Now, Best in a lot of trouble. No dash in mid.
Just walked down by Kivo Fred. Aurora shows up just a hair too late. Can't heal his longtime mid lane teammate. And down goes Best for the first time this game.
A lot of scrapping across the whole map, and this is what you probably expect to see when it's 2 international mixed teams playing together in a final in a best of 5. They're going to be trading blows here and there. One player outplaying another player outplaying another consistently every single time.
Especially with the level of player we have here. I mean, this is an all-star event for a reason. All of these players have absolute game-changing potential with one play that can happen very quickly.
And that's the type of stuff that I like to see, is Emilito just daring the double bounce coming out from Barracuda. I'm going to back here. Confidence is just as high as the level of skill at this land.
Well, now Kiki's got himself to a decent spot now. Obviously, now that he's got enough sustain coming out from this Kamazots, leveled up his abilities to level 10 now as he dings there. Variety can't put as much pressure on as he would once want without a full commit.
Cuvo is lurking here and has his ultimate. Variety, I think, is trying to bait Kiki in, but so hard to gank a Kamazots that still has ultimate available.
And look at that. Even with no wards up top, guys, Kiki's just feeling something. How long has he been playing solo?
You just know. How long is he playing the game, I guess, is the better idea, because Kiki's changed enough roles now to be able to say he understands most. But you know when a player's playing slightly different than usual, and someone like Variety, who's generally hyper-aggressive, playing passive.
This is excellent for Kiki, actually, because I figured he'd be leveling that third ability, that Devour, but he's gone for full damage with these Vampiric Bats, so he's going to transition really well. Didn't need that early sustain that Devour usually gives you.
And now he's going for the fight, diving right underneath the tower. Terra ultimate to help out Variety, however, as Captain Twig shows his face, intercepting the inevitable gank coming from Cubo Fred.
Big win for Kiki and Manticores though, but the wraparound is on its way. Jeff's turned up, root onto Twig. Twig has his ultimate available, but the walls will keep him pinned in place. No over panic though coming out from him as Kiki just continuing to sustain and keep the pressure.
Love the way Twiggy saves his ultimate. He knows I don't need it right now. Barra might need some help. Can't find the angle, so not going to get the stun onto Emilito. Double side here on the right-hand side, however, as Jeff's dealing with that.
Barra and Emo going 1v1 on the left side, just those two on the left side, but ultimate for ultimate, nothing doing.
Surprisingly enough, the only reason that little team fight happened, that little skirmish, is because Barra used the ricochet and missed. As soon as that was down, Emilito goes, hang on a second, I can't be stunned, let's have a Barney.
That's what we were talking about before. I will address the Barney later. Is the cleanse coming out from Aurora there. As soon as he gets Arlong pinned, he's like, all right, look, I'm getting out of here. Who was it that brought Arlong Shen into the setup man position? Aurora himself. Look for Aurora to use that second ability a lot, and the best certainly needs it right now. Aurora's going to help out with the heal, but he gets taken down himself. Cubo Fred, flanked by Jeff Hindler and Yamin. Down goes the support.
I like the idea there, and it almost looked like they might get away because a split target. Yamin wanted to go for best, whereas Cubo clearly wanted to knock down Aurora. Ends up not mattering in the end, but Cubo might be in a little bit of trouble. Double Nemesis dash gets him out of danger, though.
Yeah, and Kiki was hanging around there too. The shield comes into play, but it's back to farming once more now. Just that death to Aurora, which isn't doom and gloom unless Twig gets in trouble.
There's a taunt. He gets knocked up as well. Twiggy's going to have to use the ultimate. Right over the wall he goes. And Kiki going to be, well, safe for the moment. But there's a dash too. Kiki looking for the help. Goes for the ultimate. Sends Jeff the other direction. Best comes up too far. Trying to help his teammate. Throws his life away. But Kiki makes sure it's not for nothing. Taking down Yaman as well.
Variety's
Kiki in a second going for Variety.
And Variety has no ultimate available, but the Terra's Blessing coming into
Shell.
play. The leap is good. Shell and the turtle form. Cairo with the snipes, but is it enough?
He's got the slow. Where's the follow-up? Aurora and Kiki on the run. They have a speed up thanks to the hail from Aurora. And the long-range magic missile. Aurora's crushing it.
Emilito's really crushing it, though. He just put so much damage down and dealt with Cubo Fred. Now Kiki could potentially clean it up, but he misses.
Oh, the dot won't be applied. 3-on-2. Power on the blue side. Jeff Hindler and Barracuda, the long-time duo lane on the right side of the map. Caught in the suns. Aurora flies too close. Down he goes.
And now next on the list is Kiki, low on mana, rooted in place. Barra leaps over the wall. No mark on, so it wasn't a knock-up, and Kiki should be able to get back towards the tower at least.
Barra's in some trouble. Has to use the Aegis, though, as Twig's still here, but he's only level 9 now. The aggression is on the Twig.
Running away, and he'll find safety under the tower. I loved the juke boots out of Kiki. He dodges to the left and then immediately runs towards the minions, knowing he's going to block the shots out of the Hunter.
But Fire Giant Portal Demon, I should say, correction, started up. I always call it Fire Giant, because when I type VGS now, I go attack Fire Giant.
Fire Giant Jr.
Oh, I like it. Fire Giant JR. I'll take that one. We can go with that. So Portal Demon was looked at for a second by Juggernauts, which I like the call with the soul there, the extra damage from the heat on the ground too. But obviously Manticores, they're all fighting all day.
This is, and that's really what the Manticores want with this composition, right? They want Twig to be in the front line, absorbing cooldowns, and getting healed by Aurora. Emilito has some sustain in that kit as well, don't forget, with the Chiron passive. So there's really the double sustain. Chiron healing is about as effective as Terra healing at this stage in the game. So it's really 2-to-1 in terms of healers in the Manticores.
And we talk about healers, still no anti-heal really online for either team. Oh, sorry, Brawler's Beat Stick for Captain Twig is the first thing on. The Lotus Crown, however, on Aurora on this hell is so useful because when you pop that 3, that heals the whole team around you in a dot form, it actually reprocs the Lotus Crown every single time.
That's what I was going to say. The dot form is what's most important about that. It kind of acts as a sovereignty that gives you some magical power as well.
It's just 20. Is that not enough?
20 does that consistently throughout a whole team fight, though, and by the time it wears off, you can probably be refreshed. Is a free 20 for your team, and when you think about what Lotus Crown's giving you compared to what a Sovereignty would give you in terms of a hell build, it's definitely more beneficial.
I love just how aggressive this team is. Best dash almost into the damn tower, looking for the stun onto Yaman, ready and waiting to fire. Dashes one more time, and he finds the stun, and he finds the ult! The best sends Yaman to the nether realm!
It's not often that Yamin does something unusual, and he took a step forward after the Disapparate was on cooldown, and Best goes, surprise! And it wasn't a good time.
Surprise for Twig as Barra takes the 1v1. Now Cubo's here, throws the ultimate onto Best, trying to just disrupt this gold fury.
Good knockup from Emilito, and the snipes won't clean it up on its own, though. He needs the masterful shot, and he's not going to be available yet. Barry's in trouble, too.
The shots are good on Barra, and the shots are good onto his support. Emilito wrapping around the backside. A run might fall down, but the best takes care of Barracuda. Jeff Hinland now the next target. Dashing forward, finding the stun as the mid laner, finding the slow as the hunter, finding the clap as the support, and finding the kill is the entirety of the team.
6-7, only a 1k gold lead at the moment in favor of the Manticores. Gold Fury still stands, but Emilito, for me, in that fight made a big impact.
Absolutely, the long-range shots. Kiki actually in some trouble here on the right. I don't know if he knew Yemen was coming, but gets up into the ultimate before the Supernova helps.
Thought for a second Kivo might give chase with the speed buff there, but he is against Kamazots, who can resustain back up, and now Manticores on the left start the Gold Fury, change their mind after a little bit of time.
The world's slowest objective attempt. In a world where we're seeing so many objective compositions, I don't think the Chiron and the Hell are going to do it anytime soon. So Manticores have to back off that one. Even without the Gold Fury, however, a little bit of 1,000 gold in the lead for the blue team.
But look at Barracuda's build. He has the Ichaival and the Shifter Shield. Emilito just now finishing an Ichaival of his own. I was wondering what Emil was going to go for. I think that we've seen a lot of builds move away from Ichaival so far this weekend, surprisingly enough, especially on the Scotty for Barracuda. That's really the only one, I should say, that's really going away from Ichaival, unless it's Panda Cat with the Devourer's Gauntlets. But in this situation, because Barra goes Ichaival, Emil is forced to. You can't have one Ichaival without one of your own on your side, or else you just outright lose every trade.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, even it's less about the trade in lane and more about the multiple team fights. I would have expected to see a Crusher or a Brawler's Beat Stick come out on Emilito, but because we're seeing so many fights here this early on, it's gotta be the Ichaival.
Gold Fury getting very low here, and it looks like it will go to Juggernauts for free. Zone Duty's job was Jeff Hindler. Gonna pop his ult defensively, but I think he's still in trouble.
There's the ultimates out of Emilito through the wall, finding the target. Captain Twig with the dunk just to make it stick. The Osiris relatively low here, but Aurora showing up just to provide the heals and the extra support.
Kiki still dueling with Cubo, and with Yamin turning up, Kiki's going to take on a trade that's a lot more difficult. Forced to butt out of hell, back to safety of his team, finds Variety on his exit, and Variety's still in trouble.
Kiki also brings the rest of the Juggernauts into the clutches of the Manticores. Emilito picks up one, Cubo Fred is next, and the Bat takes him down. Kiki again with the kill.
Kiki very easily could have just swooped through mid-Harpies, but as you mentioned, bringing everyone towards the Manticores, perfect team fight. You need to be grouped as a healing composition, and the Manticores have done that beautifully so far.
It's all about the communication here. Kiki looks like he's going wild, but Manticores are there to provide the support. Heals from Aurora, slows from a Captain Twig, and there's the stuns and the big damage coming out from the best. Dashing forward is Hindler, finding a route, but just not enough.
Just trying to buy time on the minions. This tier 2 tower a little bit tankier than previously in the start of the season, but it's enough time for Manticores to take it down, but not enough time potentially to get them more.
17 minutes is just too long to have no anti-heal against a Hell, and you can see what's happening to the Juggernauts.
But the problem
without
is,
it.
I was looking at the anti-heal options, I'm like, well, Brawler's Beat Stick, right? Is an option, but it's not the greatest option for some of these gods.
Divine.
They're not all ability-based. Divine is definitely one for Sol, sure.
I would go
However,
Brawlers right away as Nemesis.
Toxic Blade?
Well, right now, Captain Twig needs help from somebody, and Jeff's standing right in the way. Last hit, but big damage coming out from Barracuda with the ultimate out of the Ho Yi. Juggernauts pick up the Gold Fury earlier on. Manticores bite back with the team fight in the middle lane, and that brings us again to a 3K lead for the Manticores.
It's a small window here where Juggernauts could actually try and return the favor of all the damage they've had done to them. They're looking towards mid lane here to try and pick up Jeff, but it's like not Jeff, Barrett, Emilito, but it's Emilito with the long-range hits.
And Aurora did a lot of that damage. Now Aurora's on the run. Shell comes through to try and get him out. Jeff taking that tower, and Emil finds another one under the tower.
The sustain is incredible. Kiki providing the damage. Emilito with the shot, so masterful. Trips. Give me your own money, as my announcer would say.
Should be a fire giant from here. I mean, only Variety and Cubo Fred up. Variety's ult is on cooldown. They're all full health relatively on this side. Manticores should be looking to take a fire giant fight and at least bait one of these members in.
I agree. This is a good call from them. You could get the tier 1 tower on right, but you're not going to bait in a fight like you did with Cuvo right now, already committing the double dash.
Variety's the danger man, so I like the focus onto him. The frenzy pop early from Twig, trying to really burst him down, but the shield form keeps him alive until a Roar will get credit for the kill.
They're like little insects. It's like moth to a flame the second, and that's the communication I'm talking about. We did a listen in earlier as Cuvo Fred just gets, again, collapsed on by the anthill. That is the Manticores, and it was just so, I'm looking for this, I've got this, hey, he's dead. And it's just incredible. This communication is what's winning Manticores the game.
I just want to point out this is 3 North American members on this team that are with 2 European members, and they are winning this game.
Yeah, but look at what the European members are doing. Emilito 6-0-6.
Stop putting yourselves down. I'm trying to help you out.
No, you know what? This is a Barney, and it's all led by the dinosaur. Kiki is North American, and he's up top.
Barney, how many times? Tier 1 tower on the right does fall, and that's just going to give a little bit more gold to them. 20 minutes in, 14-8, and we were talking about anti-heal. There's the Divine Ruin finally for Yamin.
But I was too late.
I was kind of thinking potentially about Toxic Blade, and I know Toxic Blade has been talked about quite a lot, but these are a lot of basic attack characters on the Juggernauts, and Toxic Blade could potentially help him out here.
That's why we see the Witchblade on the Osiris. I mentioned it during P's and B's. Variety, Quavo, Fred, Yamin, and Barracuda are the ones that are all of them are basically basic attack characters. Of course you're going to see the Witchblade come out. This is as simple as 2 + 2 is 4 in my mind.
I really like the Witchblade on Captain Twig. I absolutely agree with you there. Toxic Blade would be great on Variety. I think that's who I'd probably want to get that item on. Maybe Cuvo Fred, especially with the type of build Cuvo seems to favor on this Nemesis, which is auto attack style. I just think that I probably would have rushed Boots into a Divine Ruin if I'm Yemen. I know that hurts the damage output, but something has to be done about this healing. I still think Cuvo Fred could have gone Brawler's Beat Stick second item. It doesn't fill the same role as Stone Cutting, but you can get that Stone Cutting later. It's too late for the anti-heal to come online past 20 minutes.
Juggernauts really want to have control of this area, knowing that the Gold Sphere is coming up soon. Captain Twig stuck between 8 different players, jumps into a 9th, and it's Captain Twig that's half HP. I think he's going to go down here, guys.
Oh, no, he's not. Back to the Tier 1 tower. And this is buying time, because look at the rest of the map. Kiki's on the right, split pushing a Tier 2. Left-hand side, there's 2 members.
He's got Sprint. He just got M-ulted and sprinted away, and what are you going to do against that? Plus, he can speed himself out even more with that second ability, slowing you down. No chance for them to catch Twig.
I love how matter-of-factly you said that, because that's how matter-of-factly Captain Twig did it. Me and Henry were like, oh, he's toast. And Captain Twig is probably like, I'm going to have to use my sprint here.
I mean, I thought with his ult being down, ult being used, and then straight into another ult, I thought this chain would be good enough to bring him down, but not to be. Juggernauts on the defensive, and the benefit now is with the Tier 2 towers being a little bit tankier. They've only got 1 left, but it could come into play.
Kiki's going all the way home.
Variety's going all the way
to
home.
the left side. Aurora takes down Variety, and Kiki shows up just in the nick of time. Jeff Hidla under the tower, under the ground. Kiki again takes out Barracuda, and Cuvo Fred. One more shot will do it, and that one belongs to Captain Twig. They're diving a Phoenix with the Tier 1 and Tier 2 available. You know why? Because the right side, the dirty work was done by Kiki earlier in the team fight.
And where does Emilito go? Straight through the middle Phoenix to get to that right-hand side where the minions are all grouped up and start looking for the Phoenix. The rest of the team not really with him, but now that he's got a Roar, he'll be fine.
Look at that team fight recap. Does it look to you, based on the health bars of the Manticores, that the Juggernauts only did 2k less damage?
Yeah.
No, because they took no damage because they've got so much healing left. Keep in mind that, as we mentioned, that Lotus Crown ticks throughout that entire thing. It's 5 seconds for that Lotus Crown, even longer with the ticks.
Well, Variety's trying to run for his life in that turtle form as Jeff is going to commit. Big ult from Cuvo Fred onto Aurora, so he's going to try and shred some protections, but Aurora is having none of it. Jeff Hidla's having none of it either because now he's dead.
Kiki's having all of it because he's just eaten all day. Another kill going to the solo lane. Crazy bat. Another kill coming his way if Cuvo sticks around, but the double dash gets him out of trouble. Captain Twig goes for the jump, misses it, finds the tether. But as soon as the shield and the teammates show up, Twiggy wants none to do with it. But through the wall, the best reminds everybody why he's here.
Yamin going to try and turn it around there with a fantastic supernova, but it's not enough to bring down the best. And Yamin will keep the Phoenix on the left alive because, well, there's still 2 towers in that lane.
This is, I can't mention how incredible the communication is, guys. It's as soon as somebody gets in trouble, trouble. There's 2 players showing up to help. The play with Kiki pushing all the way up there because he had the teleport to make the transformation to the left-hand side, push him all the way into the base because they knew that the wave was pushed up. It's all about the becauses in this game, and it's all about the microphones.
And look at how they're splitting the map right now. They know they're under absolutely no pressure, so let's get Gold Fury at the same time that we get Portal Demon. Look at the healing from Aurora. 27,000. Emilito has 1 million kills in this game and has done a cajillion damage, and he still has less damage than Aurora has healing.
I was going to bring that up as well. When they were sieging that tier 2, the middle lane Phoenix, that was just 25. So it was about 3,000 healing in that one fight with the right and mid Phoenix. There was 22 minutes in the game. Aurora's healing over 1,000 HP, 1,000 HPM.
I'm just looking forward to going home tonight, getting him a ranked game, and getting a hell support that's going to do 4K healing in 45 minutes.
No.
That's what I'm excited about.
Catch me banning hell every game.
Just in case that happens.
Yeah, just in case.
Catch Emilito.
From my own team.
Emilito laughing at Variety on the Horseman. Love it. Big Man Fire Giant started up. Juggernauts have to try and make this stop. Peel off of the objective is Manticores. Over the top comes Barra, looking directly for Aurora. He is absolutely the target for the Juggernauts. The heals, the support, the sustain. He will remain. And the fight on the left side, it's going Kiki's way all damn day. Double kill for the Bat.
And meanwhile, Aurora will finally go down eventually, but the fight is a different story. Best is going to get another member, and now there's only 2 left for the Juggernauts. Jeff's going to get a good wall up, but Variety's just not got the damage.
I'm pretty sure I can hear Aurora laughing from here that they killed him and decided because of it.
Yeah.
Juggernauts, they got the healer, but who cares? Manticore's got the game.
They finally killed the hell, and then they killed themselves. That's what it was. They just